Good morning, guys. It's Tuesday, the 26th of January, and we're on our next maths video. Similarly to yesterday, we're going to have the Fluent in 5 starter, where there are 5 calculations, some of which you can do mentally, some of which you can do written, but it's up to you to decide which way you want to do them. So you're going to have a go at these for me on wherever you do your working, so on your paper, on your whiteboard, in your book, however you want to do it. Have a go at these ones. And then we're going to come back and go through the answers so you can see how you did at getting your maths brains warmed up. So give the video a pause and give them a go, please. Right, we should be back and unpaused, and we'll go through the answers to these Fluent in 5 problems. So remember, if there's an M next to it, that means you could, I'm not saying you have to, it could have been done mentally, or it's suggested to be done mentally, and W is suggested to be done written. There is no right or wrong, though. If you did written for one and mental for another, as long as you got the answer, that's what matters. The reason we're trying to get you to do some of them mentally is because when we come to be doing quick calculations, you won't have time to do workings for all of them. So number 1, 2/5 of 90. Now remember, we divide the 90 into 5 equal parts, and then we times that by the denominator of 2 to give us 36. So 90 divided by 5 gave us our 18, and then we times by 2 to get our 36. 48.3 divided by 100. Remember, we're going to be, and you'll have seen that it's magically appeared another answer, because I do not agree with the answer that's been given. Because 48.3 for me divided by 100, we do 2 jumps, 1 jump to there for the 4.338 there that we've got completely the wrong way around, and then we do another jump to here, so it'll be the 483 will be after the decimal point, and then it'll be 0.483. Next one, 67 times 32. We did that written, so formal calculation, and was 2,144. The next one, 80 take 28. You could have done 80 take 30 and then added 2. You could do 80 take 20 and then take 8. However you want to do it, it's 52. And the last one, you can hopefully see by the hundreds numbers, but you're going to have to do some exchanging anyway, so a written method of column addition was probably best. Let's continue. So today, I've done it again with my LI. I do sincerely apologize. Don't know why it's doubling up, but here we go. So we're looking to convert between metric units of capacity. So we've looked at length, we've looked at the mass yesterday, and we're looking at capacity today. Now the star words, capacity and equivalent, and then milliliters and liters. So hopefully milliliters and liters are ringing a bell. We're going to be looking at them today. So the capacity of an object is how much of a substance it can hold. So think of a bottle, it's how much it can hold. Generally, we're looking at liquids, but it doesn't have to be. But a lot of today we're looking at liquids, and we generally measure this in milliliters, ml, or liters, the L. Today we're going to look at how to convert between the two, just like we've done with grams and kilograms, just like we've done with centimeters to meters. We're just doing milliliters to liters and the other way today. Now we use milliliters for smaller measurements and liters for larger ones. So having a look here, we've got a can of Coke and a bottle of Coke, the big bottles. Which measure do you think you will use for which? I've been clever to make sure the labels will turn round. So have a think. It's probably going to be milliliters for this one and liters for here. Generally, I think you get about 330 milliliters in a can of Coke, and then this is a 2-liter bottle. Okay. So larger quantities of liquid or larger quantities and capacity are litres. So to convert between the two, there are 1,000 milliliters in 1 litre. Again, get it burned into your brain, 1,000 milliliters in 1 litre. So we need to convert by milliliters to litres by dividing by 1,000, just as we did yesterday, just as we did last week. So 2,347 milliliters is how many litres? Divide by 1,000, and we're going to use, you do whatever method you want. If you want to use formal division, go for it, but I find we're just putting a decimal point and doing our jumps is quicker. So we write 2,347 and we have our imaginary decimal point at the end. 1000 has 1, 2, 3 zeros, so we're going to do 3 jumps. 1, 2, 3. So there is the decimal point in here. So all of these numbers are behind the decimal point. This one stays in front. So 2,347 millilitres is 2.347 litres. Simple as that. Divide by 1,000, move the decimal point. To convert from litres to millilitres, we go the other way. We're going from a smaller number of litres, but it's going to go up because more millilitres will be in a litre. So 3.456 litres. We're going to times that by 1,000 instead of dividing, we're going to times, but we're still going to use the decimal point jumping method that we've been using, our quick mental calculation, but you can do, as I've said, a formal method if you want. So we put our decimal point where it is, and because we're timesing, we do 1, 2, 3 zeros, 3 jumps to the right. 1, 2, 3, and we put it here. So we don't need to put anything after here because all the numbers are in front. There's nothing missing here. So we write 3.456 litres equals 3,456 millilitres. Millilitres to litres, divide by 1,000. Litres to millilitres, we times by 1,000. You can watch those examples again if you think you need them before moving on to the next part. Because what I'd like you to do is in your home learning books with a ruler, very neatly, I would like you to draw out one of the tables below, and I would like you to do the conversions. So in this table, you've got all the litres, so we just need to get to millilitres. So we're timesing by 1,000. Here, litres and millilitres, you've got different ones. Some of them you'll have to times, some of them you'll have to divide by that 1,000. Can you fill in these tables? Once you've done that, you're going to come back and I'll go through the answers. So pause it, draw the table really neatly, get it filled in. Do that in your home learning books. Pause it now and have a go, please. Perfect. Hopefully we're back and we've had a good go and we've managed to choose one of the tables. I mean, if you've gone rogue and done both, good stuff. But pick one of the tables, then done the conversions, and let's go through the answers. So what I'd suggest you do now is pause this page and mark your learning. Okay, and then we'll come back and carry on. But here are your answers to the first table. Here are the second table, and the answers are in red. Okay, I know that might be tricky for a couple of you to see, so hopefully you'll just be able to fill in your gaps. I do apologise. But pause it, mark it. Right, let's carry on. So now, what I want you to do, now we've had that practice and we've practiced for converting, now it's time to go and do your mathletics and nail the activity today, which I know you all will. So can you log on to Mathletics, go and do the activity which involves exactly what we've done today, get it completed, and then come back because we've got a little bit more learning to do. So pause it, go and do your main activity on Mathletics and come back. Perfect, we should have done Mathletics and we are now back, so let's move on. Now, sometimes we're going to be required to read a scale. It could be on a glass, it could be on a measuring jug, it could be on a measuring cylinder like the one you see here. We need to determine how much liquid is in a container, and we need to use what we've worked with capacity and the equivalency, so millilitres to litres, to help us out. So on this container, the first thing we need to do is work out what it's measuring in, so we can see there are jumps of numbers, and they've all got an L after them, so that means litres. There are also these little lines between, so those are going to be jumps of something else. Now there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 little lines between each litre. So those are going to be jumps of millilitres, but we need to know how many each jump is. Each one is the same width apart, so they're going to be equal. So if for every 10 little ones there is a litre, then we know that a litre is 1,000 millilitres. So we know that each jump, there are 10 of them, and we need them equal to make 1,000. So almost something times 10 to give us 1,000. The easiest way to do it for me would have been to just divide 1,000 by 10, and then you've got 100. So each jump is of 100 millilitres. So each little line, 100 millilitres, but almost medium-sized line between each, that's going to be 500 millilitres. Now we can use that information. We've just worked out to say how much liquid's in this container because we're given a line here, and it's on a certain capacity, a certain amount of liquid in there. So we need to firstly look which two big litres is it between. So 3 litres and 4 litres. So we know it's going to be 3 litres something because it is not 4 litres yet. So it's going to be 3 litres something. We then count the little lines. 1, 2. Now we said each little line was 100 millilitres. So if we've got 2 of those little lines, 100 times 2 is 200 millilitres. So we've got 3 litres and 200 millilitres. We can write it like that. Or we can just write 3.2 litres because we've got 3 and then 0.2 jumps. 3, or with 3.200 we could write, but we write 3.2. Or you could have kept it all in millilitres and written 3,200. Easiest way for me, I'd say, is to write your litres and then point whatever, it's 0.2 or 0.5 or 0.6. Now, what I'd like you to do with that information is you have 4 measuring cylinders here. I would like you in your home learning books to write how much A, B, and C contain. Now, I've changed the scale between the litres, so no longer are there jumps of 10. So you're going to have to work out what each little line's worth first, and then write how much each line is showing. So there's a line here, there's a line here on B, a line here on C, a line here on D. So pause it and tell me how much is in each container. Right, let's go back and have a look at some answers. So in the first container, each jump was of 200 millilitres because 200, 400, 600, 800, and then we're at the next one. So each jump was of 200. So this one is 4 litres, 1, 2, 3 jumps. So 200, 400, 600. So 4.6 litres. This one, 3.4. This one, 1.6. And this one, 4.8. Wonderful. Now, as we usually do, can you please go into TT Rockstars and practice your fluency skills, your times table skills for at least 10 or 15 minutes, and then you are done with maths for today. We will continue tomorrow. Bye-bye now.